All right, let's talk about the future of work. Because honestly, there's this huge shift happening right now, and it's going to define who succeeds and who gets left behind. So whether you're just starting your career or you've been in the game for a while, you're going to want to pay close attention to this.
This really gets to the heart of it all. See, we're not talking about the old ways of dividing people up. A brand new split is forming in the workforce, and frankly, figuring out which side of it you're on, well, that could change everything for your professional life.
So what does that actually look like? Well, on one side, you've got the thinkers. These are the creators, the builders, the innovators. And on the other side, you have the doers. These are the folks who follow instructions and handle routine, predictable tasks. And here's the kicker. One of these groups is about to see their opportunities explode, while the other, well, their path is getting narrower and narrower.
Okay, so what's the big driver behind this whole thing? What's causing this massive disruption? Well, it's something that's literally changing every single industry out there.
It really boils down to two words: AI and automation. I mean, the speed at which this technology is moving is just incredible. Basically, any job that's predictable, any task that's just following a set of rules over and over again, that's becoming a job for a machine. And this isn't some far-off future thing. It is happening right now as we speak.
And this isn't just theory, right? It has real-world consequences. We're seeing it hit roles that used to be the bedrock of the entry-level workforce. Things like data entry, basic accounting, clerical stuff, even some legal work. They're all being automated. So that old reliable path of get a degree, get a job, do the tasks, that playbook is just falling apart.
Okay, but before you get too worried, this is not an end-of-work story. Not even close. It's really a story about transformation. Because for every one of those routine jobs that's disappearing, something new and, honestly, way more interesting is taking its place. The real question is, what exactly is growing?
And here's the most important thing to get. The real growth is in the skills that work with AI, not against it. We're talking about all the stuff that makes us, well, human. Things like creativity, critical thinking, real emotional connection. That space isn't just surviving this shift, it is absolutely booming.
So that leads us perfectly into our next section. What does it actually mean to be a valuable employee today? Because let me tell you, the definition of skilled has completely changed.
See, your value at work isn't just about the facts or technical skills you have memorized anymore. Why? Because a machine can look that stuff up instantly. The new value proposition, your real worth, comes from the things machines can't do. How you think, how you adapt on the fly, how you come up with new ideas, and how you connect with other people.
And if you look at the skills that are most in demand right now, you see a really clear pattern. Analytical thinking, creativity, adaptability, digital literacy, and those human-centric skills. Notice the theme here? None of these are about just following a checklist. They're all about solving fuzzy problems and creating something new out of thin air.
But here's the problem. We know what skills are needed, but studies are showing that a lot of new grads are coming into the workforce without them. They're lacking in exactly the areas that matter most, like critical thinking and communication. Now that's a huge challenge for sure, but it's also a massive opportunity for anyone who decides to lean in and build these skills on purpose.
Okay, so that's the big question, isn't it? How do you actually bridge that gap for yourself? How do you build a career that can weather these changes? Well, let's get practical. Here's a starter kit.
All right, step one, it all starts with how you think. You've got to cultivate deep thinking. That means reading widely, not just scrolling headlines, and really questioning the assumptions behind things. Next, embrace your creative side. Explore the arts, learn how to tell a compelling story. And finally, get comfortable with tech. The goal isn't to compete with AI. It's to learn how to use it as a tool to make you even smarter.
Then it's all about your mindset and actions. You have to stay flexible, commit to being a lifelong learner, double down on those human skills, practice empathy, get better at communicating, and this last one is huge. Build your own agency. Don't just wait around for someone to give you an opportunity. Go out and create your own. You have to be the architect of your career, not just a passenger along for the ride. This table here breaks it all down perfectly. Look, the routine, predictable jobs, they're shrinking. The human-centric jobs that need creativity and judgment, they're growing. But the real sweet spot, the area with the highest growth, it's those hybrid roles, where you combine your human brain with the power of AI. That's the future, right there.
You know, this whole conversation we're having, it's about way more than just landing a good job or making more money. It actually gets at something much, much deeper, about what it means to work and what it means to be human in this new era.
So for you, personally, focusing on these skills means building a career that gives you a sense of control, of purpose. It's the difference between just having a job and having a meaningful career. And for society as a whole, when we have a workforce full of thinkers and problem solvers, we're actually equipped to take on the biggest challenges we face and build a future that's better for everyone.
So, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. In a world where technology is getting smarter every day, your greatest, most future-proof asset will always be your own mind.
So, it all comes down to a choice. As you plan your next move, your next course, your next job, you have to ask yourself this one simple question, because the answer you choose really will shape everything that comes next.
If you spend any time online, you've heard it a million times. It's the universal sign-off, the creator's mantra. Like, share, subscribe. We hear it so often it's just kind of become background noise, right? But what if I told you those 3 little words aren't just a polite request? They're actually a powerful set of commands that literally shape the internet you experience. So let's just put it all together one more time. Liking is your vote for quality. Sharing is your tool for expansion. And subscribing is your act of community building. Every single click has a distinct and vital impact on the digital world we all live in. So, the next time you hear that familiar sign-off, remember this. You are not just passively watching something. You are an active participant. You are a curator, deciding what content deserves to be seen. You're an amplifier, giving it a bigger voice. And you're a patron, supporting the creators that you really value. So remember, your clicks have real weight. They actually shape the internet that we all share. They can elevate an unknown artist, they can spread a vital idea, or they can build a global community. You hold that power in your hands. The only question left is, now that you know the code, how are you going to use it?